Hello, and welcome back to the Military Matrix. Tonight, we turn our focus to a dramatic and destabilizing development in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. The collapse of key infrastructure following a bold strike, and the cascading consequences of that blow. Just days ago, Ukrainian forces launched a precision assault on a vital bridge and surrounding support networks inside Russian-held territory, causing what analysts are now calling the beginning of a broader infrastructure meltdown within Russia's rear areas. The bridge, a lifeline for military convoys, fuel, ammunition and troop movements, has crumbled, its destruction triggering a domino effect of supply disruption, logistical chaos and mounting pressure on the Russian war machine. From Moscow's perspective, this is more than just a tactical setback. For years, the Kremlin has emphasized control of lines of communication, supply routes and transportation networks to sustain its military operations in Ukraine. With one major artery severed, the Russian forces are facing a crisis in depth. Reinforcements stalled, remote garrisons isolated, supplies delayed, and now civilians in border regions feeling the strain. According to intelligence sources, the struck bridge had been moving hundreds of fuel tanker trucks and dozens of heavy equipment convoys per month. Its loss now means alternate routes must be used that are slower, more vulnerable, and far less efficient. In the aftermath, we're seeing a dramatic uptick in signs of decay. Warehouses abandoned, fuel depots left unserviced, armored units stuck in the field longer than expected. Inside Russia, regional authorities in logistics hubs are already reporting outages of diesel supply for local transport, delays to rail freight, and growing concerns that troop rotations and material replenishment will suffer as winter approaches. The timing is particularly cruel. With colder temperatures imminent and the war entering a fourth winter, the resilience of supply chains becomes ever more critical. For Ukraine, this strike represents a symbolic and strategic milestone. It shows that the war is no longer just about frontline clashes, but increasingly about crippling the enemy's capacity to wage war. By targeting the backbone of movement and supply, Kiev is forcing Moscow to pay attention far beyond the battlefield. This shift in strategy raises fresh questions. Can Russia fully absorb this kind of damage and keep its operations running at pace? Will the widened logistical stress begin to affect frontline units, and if so, how quickly? We are already hearing reports from Russian border region governors about power and heating issues, and some rail lines being delayed or rerouted because of damaged infrastructure. While Russia's official reports are cautious, independent analysts suggest this bridgefall is emblematic of wider structural vulnerabilities in the Russian logistics network. One expert commented that the loss of a single critical link like the one struck is akin to removing a keystone in an arch. The entire network begins to sag. From a strategic lens, this event may open a new phase in the war, where infrastructure becomes a primary theater of conflict. For Ukraine, the strike not only degrades Russian capabilities, but also sends a message to the international community about the effectiveness of long-range precision strikes, drones, and hybrid warfare tactics. For Russia, the consequences are equally stark. The need to protect, repair, and reroute long supply lines distracts from frontline operations and potentially weakens its posture in contested regions. In the coming days, all eyes will be on how Russia responds. Will Moscow rapidly rebuild or repair the damaged bridge? Will alternative logistic corridors be secured and protected? Or will we see delays, bottlenecks, and attrition in Russian forces resulting from extended supply times and exposure? On the Ukrainian side, further strikes on critical infrastructure are likely. The question is whether Russia can stem the flow of damage and stabilize the rear areas. For viewers, the significance of this moment cannot be overstated. This is not simply a single battlefield victory or one more headline in a long war. It may mark a turning point in how the war is fought, from direct combat to systemic degradation of the enemy's foundation. If logistic networks collapse, armies stall, and a stalled army cannot accomplish its objectives. We will monitor developments closely and bring you updates as the situation evolves. Stay tuned. The Military Matrix will continue to bring you deep dive analysis, expert commentary, and real-time developments from the front lines and beyond. For now, we will leave you with this. The bridge may have fallen, but the consequences are still rippling. The war's next phase is unfolding, and it may be defined not just by bombs and bullets, but by the resilience, or collapse, of infrastructure itself. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Military Matrix.